Hello, and welcome to Tell You the Truth. This is the podcast where you're going to get your emerging energy for the week. This week is July 30th through August 5th. And so here we go. I wish I had some better tidings than what's going to be said, but I know that the universe and source have been pushing us pretty much to our limits, and really the July and August is testing. We're being tested. We are trying to break old patterns, not only like old patterns for ourselves, but old patterns for our genetics, old patterns of our DNA, old patterns, all the light workers, all the people that are here and listening to this are really being called to fulfill their purpose. And now is really the time to be able to do that. So let's just get down to it. At the beginning of the week, so again, you're going to get a lot of signs to break conditioning. You're going to get a lot of signs that you need to figure out, is this something I learned? Is this something that I got taught from society, from my mom, from teachers, from peer pressure? Or is this something that is actually good for me? Does this actually feel good? Look at your patterns, look at your comforts, look at what you're eating, especially. Are you drinking enough water? How is your body? How is your body doing? There's a lot of turmoil, and I feel like there's a lot of stress mentally going on right now. This week entirely is going to be a very inward week. This is spirit asking you to go inside yourself, to really focus on you. It's going to take self-care. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take tenacity. There's going to be help. There's going to be your spirit guides, your ancestral guides. I really feel like there is a very close presence with a lot of us right now. We have our guides with us. If you are asking for signs, you will see signs. You need to be open to this. There are going to be signs that will tell you and direct you what is serving you and what is not serving you, what you need to break from, because there are so many new beginnings going on right now. And it really needs to be a time of you trying to manifest the destiny that you were born to be. So, saying that, there is a very possible conflict this week. There is a lesson that you will learn from this conflict, but I really feel like at the time that this is happening, it's going to be very hard for you to see that. So just know that even though there's going to be some sort of conflict this week, it could be internal, it could be external, like a mirror showing you what needs to be taken away, let go, and really just try not to resist the conflict and let it be, and just try and understand it from an outside perspective. And I wouldn't necessarily take everything personal. Again, you're going to get tested, so this is the time to shine bright. This is the time to go be your higher self. Really get back into your meditation. Get back into your practices of being calm, taking 3 deep breaths just to kind of center yourself. That holy pause of just, all right, I'm going to analyze the situation. And just breathe it out and just let it go and just see, like, is it really worth the struggle, the inward struggle, or is it easier to just let it go and be okay with it and forgive and send love? I think that that's really what we're being called for this week. There's a warning of really trying not to fall prey to being over dramatic in scenarios this week, or overly playing the victim role. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to feel what you're going to feel, but you don't want to make the situation any bigger than it might already be. So really, I feel like there's going to be a challenge. We're going to rise up to it. We must be daring and assertive and honest with your own feelings, and knowing your true self, and knowing when you can speak your truth, and maybe when you can't necessarily speak your truth, not because you don't want to speak your truth, but because that other person is just not going to hear you. So it's really a good time to look at what we can change for the better. Really think about your boundaries. Do you have healthy boundaries? Can you tell people, you know what? I can't go to so-and-so. I have to stay in, and I feel like I really need this time for myself. It's so hard sometimes, I think, especially with a lot of us that give so much, that we need to remain true to ourselves, and we need to also be able to fill our cup. And I know that volunteer work is good and giving, but I think that almost sometimes giving in that outward way instead of giving to ourselves is a distraction from really looking inward and seeing what's going on within ourselves. So this week we're really being called to do that, to really go in. And like I said, there's going to be, your spirit guides are going to be there to show you what needs to be let go of. By the end of the week. Oh, and I also wanted to let you guys know that with this conflict, I was told to tell you guys to use your creativity in this. Use your creativity as an outlet, because I know there's a lot of creative energy going on right now as well. So if you can channel this conflict in some kind of creative outlet, whether it's writing, whether it's drawing, whether it's painting or cooking or redecorating, something like that, and use this time to really be able to just channel the emotions that you're feeling, the inward struggle, in a healthy way. Exercise is great. I prefer doing more art stuff, or sometimes just listening to music is really therapeutic. These are things, create your own music. Write a song, an angry song. Sometimes that really, really helps and works. And then you could record it and hey, make some money off of it. So this is the time to really be able to be creative, even though there will be tests this week. Again, I'm going to tell you, self-care is something that's very precious. Self-care is something that I would really, really suggest that you do at least one thing this week for yourself, for your body. Take a bath, get a pedicure, kind of spoil yourself a little bit and just indulge. It's okay to indulge. We just don't want to be, we don't want to fall prey to gluttony. We don't want to fall prey to the false comforts and these patternings that are unhealthy in order for us to be our best selves. But at the same time, take that time to still care for yourself. And, if you need a nap, I think a lot of time I've been needing naps way more often than I've ever needed, besides when my son was, an infant. But lately I feel like the energy is so, there's a lot of nervous energy, a lot of anxious energy, I feel like. And so with the planets and with our lunar eclipse just being over, all these retrogrades, I really feel like there's so much that we just need a break. So give yourself that break. Give yourself something that is just for you. I think that will really help you this week. And so another thing that I wanted to touch on is that there is this push and pull energy that is going on this week as well, which I think is part of the conflict. I feel like this last month in July, we really kind of understood and honed in on what we needed to do. What was our purpose? What is our life dreams? What do we want to accomplish in this life? What do we want to see? What do we want to, who does our future self look like? And I feel like in July, we really honed into that. So this week, I think it's kind of a push and pull of, we would just want to do it. We want to get there. And there are steps that need to take place in order for it to actually happen. But I think that this week we're going to be a little bit impatient with ourselves. And we're going to try and have, again, like that internal struggle of like, I really want to get this going. I really want to get this project going. I really want to do this, like I know what I want to do with my life. And we're kind of missing these little steps. So kind of take a step back, look at it and maybe draw an outline, make an outline of what you need to do, what you want to do. Write a list. I'm a big list advocate. So you can always write a list. And then that way you can kind of do it step by step. It doesn't have to be a major action. I know that it's going to feel like you want to do something big now, because that's the kind of energy that I feel like we're getting right now. But be wary of impatience. Just sit. Sometimes it's good to sit and just meditate and just have that quiet moment. And let that impatience just kind of pass by and let it flow away. Because there's so many storms and transformation is still going on. So we really just need to step back and be gentle with ourselves. So by the end of the week, hopefully we'll know that our souls, our inner self, our true self, it's a time of maturing. It's a time of real self-growth. This week, it's like growing pains. But I think that by the end of the week, we'll be able to see a couple rays of sunshine. And I think that we're also going to be able to see that we're going to start understanding why this recent couple months has been so rocky. We're really doing this all for our expansion. We're really doing this all for our collective mass consciousness growth. And we just need to really be able to tune in. And I love what Abraham Hicks says about getting tuned in, tapped in, turned on. She gets into the vortex. So let's just get into the vortex and really just try and understand and let it be. And we don't necessarily have to analyze. But if that's your personality type and you need to, I'm sure that there will be guidance for that for you. So hold on this week. It will be okay. And I wanted to give you a tool that I use for being able to not resist negative emotions and negative energy. And it doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily say it's negative emotions. But whatever's going to go on this week, just remember that if you're feeling overwhelmed, make sure that you have that constructive outlet. You can even have a punching bag, exercise, loud music, write it down, paint, journal. You can scream into a pillow. All of these things, good. Let it out. Just let it out. And then when you get all of that I guess reptilian brain function kind of aggression out, then you can calm and sit and really feel the emotion that you are feeling without it overpowering you. And when you sit with your emotion, almost think of it as a child, as an infant, and tell your emotion that you're there with it. Be with it. Send it love. Find out the reason why you're feeling this way. Are you trying to protect yourself? Are you trying to just have denial, not see it? Are you worried that you're not going to be a good enough person? We're all here for a reason, and we are all here to be part of this consciousness so that we can expand. You are worthy. You are loved. So you really have to own all of yourself, even the parts that you deem bad. They're not necessarily bad. They're just different shades, and it really is all beautiful. And if you sit with the emotion, you'll see that there's a reason why you have that sad or angry or hurt emotion. And if you just send love to it and hold it in your heart, and just let it show itself to you. Let it rise to the top like a bubble, and just let it give you that understanding that you're seeking so much. And you will have help. You will have help with all of this from your ancestral guides, from the angels, from your spirit guides, from your spirit animals. Maybe go out in nature. If you can this week, go out in nature and get grounded and really connect with the earth. It's a very good time for that. So I think that this week we really have to be mindful of being gentle with ourselves, whatever comes our way, and that this too shall pass, and it is for good. We will understand why all of this is happening, and it will be so good and so expansive. I'm actually really excited about this entire 2 months, about July and August and what's coming, because I really do feel like there's a rise in consciousness, and it's happening on a global scale, which is so amazing and so cool. And I am just so grateful to be here at this time, to experience this and to be part of this. And I hope that you hone in on your creativity, and I hope that you really are open to this growth, because the more you resist, the more these things are going to persist, and you're going to just be challenged until it breaks. But I really do think that August is going to be a breakthrough month, and that's just the way it's going to be. By the end of August, I really feel like there's going to be so much light shed on what is happening and what has happened, and you will know yourself so much better, and you'll know what to do. You'll know the healthy things to do. You'll know your boundaries. You will know how to be assertive. You will be that light. You will own yourself. You will own that light, that power within you. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So for now, my most beautiful lovelies, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. And I hope that you subscribe and look at my website and just be blessed this week. And again, be gentle with yourselves. Do something for yourself. It's amazing. It's great. Have an absolutely beautiful, great week. I will see you next week.